NBC 15 News at 11 starts now.
Now at 11, a teen is recovering after a house fire in Fitchburg this morning. We'll take you to the scene. Plus,
my decision is to not testify.
The former Dane County deputy who murdered his wife and her sister will not testify in his own defense.
And it's a Dane County tradition. The Wednesday Farmers Market is underway. Good morning, everyone. I'm Ashley Matthews.
And good morning to you. I'm Christine Belport. Yeah, it might not feel like spring right now.
No.
Oh, with the snow coming down. But today is the first day of the Dane County Farmers Market outside. It's located on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in Madison. It's between the Capitol and the Monona Terrace.
That's right. Local vendors sell everything from fresh fruits and veggies to cheese, meat, and poultry. It's open every Wednesday from 8:30 a.m. until 2 in the afternoon. And the market will close in November. It kind of feels like November today.
I was going to say, well, it is kind of November right now. Right, Charlie?
Sure feels that way. We have a little snow coming down in the Madison area right now. Temperatures have struggled a little bit. Here's a look outside. Daily planner forecast for today. And we're going to see a 40-degree temperature at noon with a few flurries still lingering. 45 degrees at 3, 46 at 6 p.m. Mostly cloudy skies, breezy conditions through the afternoon. Wind chills at best in the 30s. But there is improvement on the way. We have some sunshine in the forecast tomorrow and Friday, a moderation in temps. Friday actually looks pretty nice, and we'll talk more about that coming up.
Charlie, thank you. New at 11, a Fitchburg teen has been treated for smoke inhalation after a house fire this morning. The call came in around 8:15 from the 5000 block of West Clayton Road. Officials say everyone else got out of the home safely. No word yet on what caused that fire. In our continuing coverage, former Dane County Deputy Andrew Steele will not testify in his own trial. He said so in court early this morning. Steele has pleaded guilty to killing his wife, Ashley Steele, and her sister, Casey Tollefspool, last August. However, he says he is not responsible and blames the murders on ALS. Closing arguments are set to begin in about 15 minutes from now.
Well, there is another case of bird flu here in Wisconsin. The flu has now been detected in a flock of turkeys in Chippewa County. 87,000 birds have been quarantined. Those that do not die will be killed. A total of 4 cases have been reported so far in the state. 57 Wisconsin Department of Natural Resource workers have been notified today that they may lose their jobs under cuts proposed by Governor Walker. Walker's 2-year spending plan would cut 66 positions across the DNR, including about 18 in the Bureau of Scientific Services. And the legislature's Budget Committee will discuss raising hunting and fishing permit fees for those out of state. Governor Walker did not call for any increase in fees over the next 2 years in his budget. The nonpartisan Legislative Fiscal Bureau has prepared an alternative showing how much money would be raised by increasing fees $2 per license.
Around the nation, testimony continues today in the penalty phase for the marathon bombing trial in Boston. NBC's Jay Gray is outside the federal courthouse with the latest on the case.
The witness list today includes survivors and family members of victims. Their suffering and loss at the core of the prosecution's call for the death penalty for convicted marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. This home video, seen for the first time as the sentencing phase of the trial began yesterday, shows the carnage and devastation just seconds after the attack.
Unless you were there and unless you saw those pictures, I don't think anybody can begin to imagine. You can't begin to imagine the horror of that day.
Some of the jury members wiped away tears as Celeste Corcoran, who lost both legs, and others seriously injured in the attack, shared their emotional memories of what happened that day and their struggle to survive. They also heard gut-wrenching testimony from the family of Crystal Campbell, one of 3 who died in the bombing. The defense has yet to address the jury, choosing to delay their opening statement until just before they call their first witness, which likely will come next week. Neighbors, school, and family friends of Tsarnaev are expected to testify in an effort to humanize the man prosecutors have described as an unconcerned, unrepentant, and uncaring murderer. Jay Gray, NBC News, Boston.
In other news around the world, today is Earth Day, and some local kids are doing their part to observe the day and show appreciation.
You could stop by Metcalf's Markets at Hilldale and Westtown today and pick up one of these free reusable tote bags. They were decorated by area children.
Those look pretty nice, too. I wouldn't mind having one or two of those.
Yep. Well, the newest member of Britain's royal family will be here soon. Any day now, Prince William's wife, Kate, is expected to give birth to the couple's second child, who, by the way, will be fourth in line to the British throne. NBC's Annabelle Roberts reports now from London.
Well, there are quite a few people here at Buckingham Palace, as there always are, but expectation definitely is mounting. We understand that William is now at Kate's side at Kensington Palace, which is their London residence, short distance from here, and most importantly, only a couple of miles from the hospital. He's completed his latest section of helicopter pilot training that he has to do for his new job that he starts in June. That's all done now. He's then going to go on paternity leave. He's free until June. So they're standing by at home, and the fans outside the hospital, they are really ready.
I want to see a healthy baby, and that healthy baby will play with George.
Unfortunately, though, this has not happened on Queen Elizabeth's birthday yesterday. That was one hope. That didn't happen. The next anniversary of date, if you like, is Kate and William's 4th wedding anniversary. That is on the 29th. That's a whole week away. I think no one really wants to wait quite that long, least of all Kate. Back to you.
And oh my gosh, they are betting now. 80% of people placing bets believe it's going to be a girl.
Really?
Yeah.
I just have a feeling it's going to be a boy, another boy. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait on this one.
Surprise.
You know.
Be surprised. I mean, either way, as long as they're healthy,
That's
who really
right.
cares?
I know. It's so fun, though. I get caught up on all this hoo-ha. I admit it.